Despite their 4th place finish in the constructors' standings, McLaren finished the season as the second best team behind Red Bull. Their turnaround with some big upgrades from Austria onwards was absolutely outstanding, and proved that they were being reborn as a team worthy of podiums once again. They have 2 serious talents behind the wheel of their cars, and in 2024, they may be the most equipped team to take on Red Bull. Is there evidence to back this up though? And are their drivers capable of taking the fight to max? I'll cover all of that and more in today's video. When testing started in Bahrain at the start of 2023, it was very clear that McLaren had not had a good winter break. To the team's credit, they were very upfront about it, with Zak Brown standing in front of the media and accepting they'd missed their aero targets and were going to need time to improve. What followed was a very painful beginning to the season. Dead last in the opening race, then 2 of the last 4 cars in the second. It looked like it was going to be an awful year for Lando Norris and rookie Oscar Piastri. Luckily for them, it didn't last. By the end of round 8 in Canada, the team had secured 5-point finishes in 16 starts. Certainly not anything to be proud of for a team with McLaren's history, but at the next race in Austria, everything would change. They bought a monstrously big upgrade package to the race. The biggest change was a brand new floor, which McLaren described as being fully revised. Certainly, everything we could see from the top of the car had changed. This revised floor only worked due to reshaped side pods, with the Coke bottle shape of the side of the car being reprofiled to better channel air under the car floor and generate the increased downforce that the new floor shape is intended to make. The car's halo also had modifications to direct the air over the top of the car more beneficially. They introduced new side pod inlets and redesigned the car's mirrors to further complement the more major changes to the car's aerodynamic profile. Finally, reliability was addressed by McLaren, modifying their cooling louvres over their car. It was a completely new aero package. So numerous were the changes that only Lando Norris could have them to start with, because the team physically couldn't make enough parts to fit them to Oscar Piastri's car until the following race. There were more upgrades to come as well during the last couple of races before the Belgian Grand Prix and the following summer break. By the time Formula 1 shut up shop for the summer, McLaren had managed to improve to 5th in the constructors' standings, but still had almost half of Ferrari's points in 4th place. After the summer break though, they were a completely different team. In the constructors' standings, the only teams that outscored them were Red Bull, obviously, and Ferrari, who in the 10 races after the summer shutdown scored just 16 points more than McLaren. The Papaya team outscored Mercedes by 37 points in those 10 races. In the Drivers' Championship, Lando Norris outscored everyone behind Max Verstappen. His 136 points post-Belgium was 29 more than his closest challenger Charles Leclerc, who managed 107. Perez only scored 96, and Hamilton was 50 adrift of Norris with 86. You can see from the numbers that McLaren's upgrades just before the summer completely changed the competitive order of the grid. They demonstrated with their new package that they understood the current regulations and how to use them to get performance on track. While Ferrari and Mercedes have openly admitted they will pursue new concepts, McLaren's attempts to rein in Red Bull will be bolstered by building on an updated 2023 car that responded favorably to any further developments it added later on in the year. By building on the current car, McLaren avoids the risk of building a bad car by chasing a brand new concept. Norris believes McLaren has plenty of areas to improve upon despite its remarkable mid-season turnaround, but is buoyed by the team ensuring it is heading in the correct direction. For us to catch Mercedes, to catch Ferrari in terms of pace, we've been behind them for 2 years, Norris acknowledged. They've not really taken any steps forward, and we've taken a massive step forward with plenty more things we know we can improve on. So I think it's a good time for us. A few more bits of the puzzle to put together, but we found the key pieces and we know what direction to go. Very proud of the whole team. After its lackluster start to the season, McLaren announced in March that former technical director James Key would be departing the team with immediate effect. Key's exit coincided with confirmation it had secured the return of David Sanchez, car concept and performance from Ferrari, with the squad also capturing the signing of Red Bull's Rob Marshall in engineering and design. The pair will begin work at Woking in 2024 alongside Peter Prodromou, Key's replacement, as part of a new 3-pronged technical structure that will report directly to team boss Andrea Stella. Zak Brown's decision to be decisive with James Key and remove him after the very poor winter they had has proved to be a masterstroke over the course of the season. Along with the arrival of new technical talent in January, McLaren's 2024 Challenger will be the first to utilize the team's brand new wind tunnel facility. Before now, they were using a rented Toyota wind tunnel that was based in Cologne in Germany, just over 600 kilometers away from the team's factory in Woking, England, if you traveled by road. This has heightened Norris's hopes for 2024. "I'm very excited," Norris beamed. "If we had started this season how we were in the middle, we would be P2 in the constructors and P2 in the drivers. So I know it's not that, and it doesn't always work like that, but we're on the right track is what I'm trying to say. We have some new hirings, and the guys coming in, they come in 24. So maybe not everything that they bring to us we're going to have on the car straight away, but some things that we just already know now. I mean, we've learned already over the past 4, 5, 6 months. From the progress we've made, we've learned a lot." He added, "So yeah, I'm excited just because we're finally on the right track, and we know which direction to push, and I just want to start the season off well. You know, if we can start well in Bahrain, then I'll be a lot more excited." It isn't just Lando that's optimistic for the team's chances though. Since removing James Key from the team, Zak Brown has helped guide McLaren back to competitiveness and has certainly been enjoying the fruits of his labour with 9 podiums in 2023. He's also been able to watch Oscar Piastri flourish after stealing him from Alpine's stable last year. Oscar has proved he was worth pissing off McLaren's competition to sign up. McLaren's relentless pursuit of performance enhancements in 2023, while commendable, might have influenced the amount of resources allocated to their 2024 car development. Unlike Ferrari and Mercedes though, they aren't going to be starting from scratch, so those investments in performance will not be wasted. Despite these challenges, Brown remains upbeat about McLaren's chances. In a conversation with Sky Sports F1, he mentioned, "Well, it's probably going to be Red Bull, but I would not want to rule anybody else out. There's a lot of great teams on the grid. We're feeling really good about our car for next year. It's hard to kind of know when Red Bull maybe stop developing this year's car to get going on next year's. But we definitely feel like we will take a step forward, but so will the entire grid, and we're just going to have to wait and see." Obviously, it's easy for a team boss and his drivers to say that they'll be competing with the best in the sport. If they don't have belief in themselves, then what's the point in turning up next year? Something that bodes well for McLaren though is that there are others in the sport that are getting behind them as Red Bull's main challenger for next season as well. Former Formula 1 champion Damon Hill believes McLaren may be the top contender to challenge Red Bull next year. Despite Red Bull's record-breaking season, Hill has tipped McLaren to become genuine contenders at the front of the grid when the action resumes in 2024 with the Bahrain Grand Prix on March 2nd. "I really do think that," Hill said. "The only thing that could be flattering that is that Red Bull has stopped developing their car and allowed people to catch up, so it looks like it might be closer than it really is. But it's harder and harder to wring the last drops out of a set of regulations, and I think McLaren are doing a fantastic job. I really do think they can keep that going. They've already cracked most of the problems and brought out a competitive car this season anyway." Ultimately, McLaren secured 4th place in the Constructors' Championship, with Lando Norris narrowly missing out on P4 in the drivers' standings by just 1 point following his 5th place result at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And after his success, Pundit Naomi Schiff agreed with Hill's verdict. Lando is the driver on the grid who has the biggest points haul in the second half of the season, after Max Verstappen, so that in itself is hugely positive, she said. "I think he's even left a couple of points on the table sometimes, making a few mistakes when he had a car that could really perform. But you've got to give a big hats off to Lando. He's been extremely patient in that McLaren for it to come to this point where he's finally got some equipment that puts him on the podium. I was a bit excited when he said that he's hoping for his first win next year." Obviously, it isn't just Lando Norris driving on the McLaren team though. Oscar Piastri has had a rookie season to remember. Piastri's stellar Junior Series credentials and a tug-of-war between McLaren and Alpine over his services made his debut one of the most highly anticipated rookie campaigns in years. A low-key start to 2023 for McLaren prevented Piastri or Lando Norris from grabbing headlines, but the unflappable Australian soon delivered on his promise by pushing his more experienced teammate in qualifying. While Norris took 7 of McLaren's 9 podiums and scored double the amount of points, Piastri also impressed with a win from pole in Qatar's sprint race, as well as Grand Prix podiums in Japan and Qatar. When compared to the other F1 debutants from 2023, Piastri looks like a seriously good find. Obviously, Nick de Vries failed to deliver on the promise that Toto Wolff had inflated. Logan Sargent has failed to impress but will return in 2024 anyway. And Liam Lawson's short cameo was good, but not good enough to earn him a full-time drive for 2024. While McLaren had high hopes for Piastri, team principal Stella admitted the 22-year-old delivered beyond their expectations, impressing with how quickly he soaked up information. Our analysis is that Oscar's season has just been exceptional. And when I say exceptional, I mean beyond our expectations, Stella said. It's the rapidity with which he learns that I think makes him exceptional. And this has been true in whatever scale you take, within the time frame of a race, within the time frame of an event, within the time frame of the season. His gradient is so impressive, which obviously creates expectations for next season. And expectations require work to be confirmed. But the other good thing with Oscar is that he's such a grounded person. He's so committed. Oscar has proven on track and in the media that he is already a mature driver who's ready to battle with the big boys in Formula 1. Piastri's exceptionally calm and mature nature for his 22 years has made a big impression on the entire paddock, and according to Stella, it's one of the key attributes behind his rapid ascent. Maybe one of the key enablers why he can grow so rapidly is just the man behind the driver, he explained. He's so calm, he's so good at keeping himself in a status in which he can use the best of his talents. If McLaren can put together a race-win challenging car in 2024, they have two of the most talented drivers on the grid who look more than capable of making the most of what they're given. Piastri showed a little inconsistency with his results in 2023, but in terms of a rookie season, it was one of the best we've seen in a very long time. Obviously, we'll have to wait to Bahrain to see if the technical team can provide the machinery needed to challenge Max Verstappen on a regular basis. But if they do, McLaren have done everything to prove that they should be favourites to take the fight to Formula 1's dominant force in 2024. Who are your favourites to challenge Red Bull in 2024? Has McLaren done enough for you to believe that they can be the team to do it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you want more F1 news and analysis like this throughout the off-season, then make sure to subscribe. Until next time, drive safe and bye for now.